Peace, family. How you been? Sorry I'm late. Well, my apologies that I'm late. Crazy part, I did a video earlier. However, I had like 10 people to call me out of the blue. Like, everybody wants to talk to the queen tonight. What's up with that? You know what's strange? What's very strange? All of a sudden, like, people I haven't heard from for years, even family, friends, and I got off the internet. I'm not really, I do YouTube, but that's about it. But all my other stuff, like, I cut it off. But all of a sudden, it's like, my communication is like a traffic jam. People are calling me, asking me, so many questions, and I try to tell people all the time that I don't know everything. I just don't. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I don't want you to take anything I say on face value. I just want you to do knowledge, do your own research, and go from there. Anyway, pardon sound. Enough of that. It was just, like I said, it's very strange that all these people are just calling me from some of every place, but I just haven't heard. My line of, let's put it this way, my line of communication has opened to a point where it's overwhelming, but I embrace it all. I say that I embrace it. Everybody is still looking for this this savior instead of trying to save themselves. I always tell people, the only person going to save you is yourself. Anyway, this is the thing, because I'm getting ready to read some stuff, because I was doing homework on this, right? So, tonight is that pay no attention to the messenger, just listen to the message that I'm about to bring forth, okay? So this is my feeling and what I think about this whole Us movie, okay? The title of this is going to be Lupita and Winston got these black immigrants with the big heads, right? True story, okay? Pardon me, I'm still a little under the weather. I'm getting better. But this weather here is so weird. It's still nice sometimes in the daytime, but then at night, you gotta make sure when you leave out the house you have a coat or a hoodie, something. No flip-flops or, sandals and all that cute stuff. It's not that time as of yet. Anyway, let's get into it, okay? Peace, family. I want to touch on the movie Us and the black immigrant reactions. We're going to first start with the backlash of the movie Wakanda, right? Where 90% of the actors were ADOS, right? And the Africans made this big thing about, oh, you're playing, you Americans playing Africans and all of this stuff, right? Really? For itself. Really? Okay. However, every time, especially nowadays, there's like 90%. Did you get that? 90% of these chameleons, these black immigrants, playing the roles of African Americans, right? But it's okay. There's no problem with that. Nothing's being said, you know. Oh, get over it. You can't get angry at us because we're successful in America and you guys don't want to do anything and all this crazy shit, right? I get a kick out of it. Let me tell you something, and I be listening to them. Oh, you African Americans, you need to lace your bootstraps up and stop being lazy, and you have no family structure. The crazy, foolish shit. I'm like, where you get your information from? Too much time on Google or World Star, things of that nature, right? Because let me tell you, there are people, not just me, but we have master degrees. I have a certification on top of my master's. I'm thinking about going back and do a PhD, be a doctor of my subject. I'm thinking hard about it. Maybe, maybe not. Either way it goes, I'm in that top percent, okay? I grew up in a 5-bedroom, 3-story house. My mother is, she had 5 children from her womb. I'm the oldest, right? So, I was the high school teenage love child, right? But she wisened up. And then she got married and had my 4 sisters, all by her husband, right? Anyway, I just want to put that there, and we can keep going with that. So don't you ever tell the ADOS that we don't have no fucking family structure and all this crazy shit. My mother comes from with 13 siblings, okay? My father is 16. Okay? Both of my grandparents on both sides were married until death do us part, okay? My grandmother on my father's side, she had 3 sets of twins, okay? One set died when they were children. My father is a twin. I'm the only child of a twin. His oldest brother and sister were, you know, peace be upon them, twins. But that's a camp of 16. Okay, so I come from tribes on both sides. And my family is still thick as thieves. Okay? So don't you ever try to stereotype ADOS as no family structure, uneducated, bums, and all this shit, please. I'm not even gonna get angry. And then let's put it here. My mother's family is from the Gullah Islands, the Geechee Gullah Islands of the South. Okay? A place where we have South Carolina. We have the only African village here in America called Oyotunji. Okay, I was initiated in this culture long before I met a person from Africa, okay? Then I heard all the immigrants saying, "Oh well, they got their culture from the Caribbeans because we speak patois in West Indian, and we still have a connection from West Africa, especially Sierra Leone." Okay, so before you jokers come and tell ADOS that we don't have any culture, do your research and do your knowledge. Because before immigrants stepped on the shores of North America, we had the Geechee Gullah Islands. We knew who Ogun and Oshun and Yemosha, Olokun. We knew. We knew our culture. Okay? We knew what our heads were from birth. I'm just sick of hearing it. You know, we've had this culture that really transformed the world. Things that people are doing now came from my ancestors, brought through the shores of Charleston and Beaufort and Savannah and Georgetown, you name it. Okay, let's just keep that there. Make a mental note. Talk what you know what you're talking about before you speak on ADOS and claim we have no culture. Okay. So let's get back to this. Okay. So like I said, every time I turn around, 90% of black immigrants to play in an ADOS role, and it's okay, right? So I was watching a reaction of an interview with Winston Duke and how black immigrants were bragging about how they are rising in America. Now, I don't have a problem with immigrants, especially black immigrants. But I have a problem with you arrogant and ungrateful and disrespectful and uneducated about ADOS immigrants, okay? I really got a problem with you. But hopefully we're going to solve it. Okay? So, time I turn around, I see in here, you know, y'all be talking real reckless without realizing the main reason why you are rising, right? It's because of ADOS, pretending to be ADOS, right? So let me ask this question. Can ADOS go to Jamaica, play Peter Tosh, Marcus Garvey, Nana, Bob Marley? Can we go to Latin America, play Chavez, Castro, Celia Cruz? Can we go to Haiti, play Toussaint? Can we go to Africa, play Mandela, Steve Biko, etc., right? But you black and Latin, you know, the blacks that speak Latin, you type immigrants, you come here, right? And you've been pretending. You've been pretending to be us since the invisible era of Jim Crow has ended, right? Part south. My eyes, let me tell you, having chinky eyes is crazy sometimes. I can't see ish. Anyway, I'm elated. I'm really elated about the arrogance, and I'm elated about those who didn't get the message of the movie, right? The the main bullet point, the main body, the main concept of this movie was about you immigrants. You are the us, right? It was brilliant. John Peel, see, a lot of our ADOS was like, oh, he used foreigners to play ADOS roles. But you have to see the movie to see what he was doing, okay? Because this movie is all about duality. Us against them. Darkness against light. Spirituality against demonology. The world of illusions. An open eye versus a closed mind. We can go a little bit further, but I don't want to hold you too long tonight because I really want to get this. I was writing, so bear with me. I'm just hoping you get my message through this whole thing, okay? So really, the movie was about immigrants who pretend to be we, but you're not we. You are. We want to be us, okay? Anyway, if you don't believe what I'm saying, you haven't paid attention to the movie, right? Because when the movie, when they meet us, right? Lupita, the one in the red, the Lupita of the red, when she was talking, she said, I am American. I am American, right? So when it first starts off, you have the little girl goes to the House of Mirrors, right? So when she goes to the House of Mirrors, she before she even walks in, you see a picture of a Native American, and then the sign says, "Find yourself." So she goes into this House of Mirrors, and as she gets lost in the mirror, she's trying to exit out. Then she looks at a reflection. In the beginning of the movie, she turns and she looks at the reflection, and she knows it's her, but the back is turned. Anyway, at the end, you see what really happened is the us, the faker, the pretender, stole her identity. Duality. Symbolic duality. Okay? So, that was the first clue. The next clue was they were in the car and I Got Five on it came on, right? So, they jammed I Got Five on it. See how we do? This is how we do it, right? So, this is what Lupita told the little boy. Stick with the beat. Stick with the rhythm. The rhythm. I got five. Ow. There was no rhythm. It was offbeat. Which comes to my next thought. I was listening to Tyreek, right? Last night, matter of fact, and he said something that made me flash back because I went to see the movie last night, right? And I was trying to process all this stuff at one time. So Tyreek said something that made me flash back. He said you could tell those who are not ADOS, right? Mainly because their slang is different. The mimic is different than ADOS, right? Which shows and proves us is not us, okay? Yeah. But you know, the us was you chameleons, right? Who continuously come to the shores of North America pretending to be the black American descendants of slavery, right? But we see you. We see what's going on here. We see the duality. Okay, so tell you something. ADOS is woke. ICE is alive and well. And we will ensure that any black, white, Indian, Asian, Caribbean, African, or any other Johnny-come-latelys to this country has some respect. Not only for the ADOS, but you have a lot of Europeans, right? Europeans who has blood spilled and bones buried here just as long as many of us that were here brought as slaves been here, okay? Because a lot of us is already indigenous to this land, however, okay? But what people don't realize, we had a civil war here, okay? A real civil war. Black against whites. And not only black against whites, the rich against poor. And at that time, the new fake immigrants who instigated it all. Y'all know who I'm talking about. We ain't gonna say no names, you know. Right now it's illegal to say that word, that AS word, right? So we'll leave well enough alone with that. But anyway. We had a civil war in this country. For those, you know, who may not understand what a civil war is. And we will, if shit don't get better, especially with you immigrants, you don't straighten up, we'll be in a civil war again. But it's going to be a different kind of civil war, okay? I'm not threatening you. I'm just giving you the universe's warning, okay? See, the problem here is, once we had the Civil War, then we had the Jim Crow era, right? And from the Jim Crow era, the blacks in the the blacks and Europeans of America has never been able, ever been able to sit down and finish what we started. Right? You know why? You know why? because you immigrants came in and you interfered. You interfered with our healing process, our fight for freedom, justice, and equality. You were put here purposely. So to make those who are the descendants of the Civil War, black and white, even forget about it, you know, and bring it back to the racism shit. Let me tell you something, and it's some real shit, okay? There are more of you racist ass immigrants, black, white, Asian, Indians, etc., than there is of the black and white descendants of the Civil War and the slaves in America nowadays. You understand that? You are the greatest trick that the devil pulled, convincing the world he didn't exist. Hold that thought. Is everybody waking up? It's ADOS, job, mission, and duty to check you. You know, you black and dark-skinned chameleon immigrants that's coming in here pretending to be we, and you really are us. No different than it's the Europeans' job to check these foreigners coming in, taking over their shit too. You think they slow? It might have been fine at the beginning, you know. Everybody come to American dream, right? But it gets different when you now may have owned land and family had wealth, and all of a sudden you're living in a trailer park. Right? So stop thinking that all white people in America is rich or privileged. Because the rich don't give a fuck about the poor. Never have and never will. So we can move away from that fucking myth anyway. Furthermore, I really don't give a shit. Trust me, ADOS don't give a shit about racism. We really don't. We don't even, you know, if shit don't go the way it's supposed to go, people won't really be mad because it's going to be Trump 2020. Remember I told you that. No, I'm not a fan of Trump. No, I don't take too kind to racists. However, I'm not one. I'm just a truth reflector, you know. I tell it how I see it. You don't like it, that's your business. I'm not here to, you know, play harps, you know, and beautiful music in your ears. I'm here to beat the drums, wake you the fuck up, okay? Anyway, let's keep going because, damn, we into 28 minutes. Wow. Anyway, so yeah, we want you to understand, not only, you know, is ADOS on to you black immigrants, but the Europeans, you know, native to this land through their ancestors who fought through the Civil War, whether they fought in the North to help the blacks, whether they fought in the white in the South to keep slavery going. And slavery really wasn't what everybody think it. Civil War wasn't what everybody thought it was about. But that's for another day. We'll get there. Okay. So yeah. So we never had a chance to hashtag that out. You know. The we's of America, not the us of Americas. Okay. You came in and you interrupted this, and you were put here on purpose. We wide awake. We on to you, okay? Um. So So another thing, if you really think like, we're gonna, this is the last thing. If you really think that the native Europeans who's been here since, who are the descendants of family of the Civil War, if you think they're not angry at European immigrants, Asians, Caribbeans, Latins, and African, and the list can go on, then you need to stop watching MSNBC. Okay? Let me tell you something. We know for an actual fact, right now in North America, 90% of these people in our Congress, in Hollywood, on our jobs, in our hospitals, medical fields, you name it. We know 90% of you now are not ADOS. And we getting ready to start pulling your coattails to let it be known to the world who you aren't. You're not us. Well, you are us. First it was them, which is we, and then it was the us, which is you. But you are not ADOS, and we refuse to allow you people to keep running around here, being the chameleons, putting yourself out there on Front Street with this skin folk, kin folk. No, 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 no. Party is over, okay? We're going to keep exposing you. Every time you get up there and run your mouth and, try to pretend, oh, I'm African American. Show and prove. And we ain't just talking about because you was born in America. You can say you an African American. Get the FOH, okay? No longer. That's not going to fly. It's not going to fly, right? So to the Lupitas, the Joy Reids, the Obamas, the Kamalas. Oh, let's not forget Miss Congresswoman Sheila Jackson, who is a Jamaican, who were born to two Jamaican parents in the 1950s here in America. So no, you're not ADOS, okay? So now we understand why that HR 40 was just an APA paper. Okay? We see you. Miss Cortez, let's not forget about you. Mr. Bernie. Don't play with us, okay? Don't play with us. Don't play with us. Because you don't speak for ADOS.